This module is related with the industrialized state socialist economies, industrial structure and location. Here we try to understand about this industrial location and structure of the agriculture socialist states, how it evolves and what has happened there. Basically, the need for industrialization base was considered important, and that emerged due to the different reasons. Some you know that mostly invasions from Central Europe happens in Soviet areas, and that was the compelling force. Then the industrial capacity building that was required for the self-reliance economies or reducing the dependence on other states, and primarily that was concentrated to the few regions and sectors, so that need to be spreaded across the whole nation or country. So the 5-year plan was basically established, or different 5-year plans have the motives or objectives to create spatial imbalances and related to the sectoral composition of output, because different areas have different composition of output, so they need to be properly organized. There are the few things which need to be focused here with respect to these 5-year plans. Number one, mostly east bias expansion of manufacturing capacity was observed. Mean it was not spread it across the whole country. It was most prone towards east side. So east Soviet area got more benefit due to these policies. Secondly, metal, chemical, engineering focused heavy industries were more developed, and military capability depends on the same. Therefore, actually, they were Soviets were more willing to establish that kind of manufacturing goods through which they can fight with the invaders, and they can defend themselves, defend their land. So their focus was more on the military related equipments and things. Therefore, more metal, chemical and engineering related heavy industries were built up. Capital consumer goods ratio was also settled, and 3 capital to 1 consumer good ratio was the major, you can say, the idea, or the you can say the focus point for these kind of 5-year plans, so that the producing 3 capital goods and then producing 1 consumer goods, not producing more consumer goods or without any relationship, mean to say base. It was not totally based, unbiased in terms of consumer goods and capital goods. It was totally biased towards capital goods. Germany invasion under Hitler, that has happened. It changed the distribution of Soviet industrial production more than the planning, because through planning they were organizing and they were following their own objective to balance the spatial distribution of these production units. But since that kind of tax, they were totally changed their strategies or their objectives. After Second World War, 8 set of locational principles were emerged, which were followed. These were: number 1, minimizing the demand for transportation by appropriate location of resource oriented and market oriented industries. So now they are coming towards more market oriented economies. They want to have more market oriented industries, and their second focus was on resource oriented. Second important perspective was the distributing production among economic region, so as to allow the more efficient utilization of available resources through specialization. So distribution or distributing production in economic regions, so their focus was on the regions, that these regions should be distributed with respect to the economic and production strategies and their distribution, so that the efficient utilization of available resources can be achieved, and specialization should be according to the natural requirement of these regions. And purpose was to facilitate the territorial division of labor, because automatically where the division of labor is helping to understand the more specialized areas, so specialized areas allowing more efficiency whenever properly they are going to be tapped, aiming for regional self-sufficiency in production. Number 4 was the distributing industrial capacity even throughout the country, evenly throughout the country. So industrial capacity was not primarily focused on certain areas. It should be spread it across the whole country, eliminating differences in employment opportunities, even urban and rural areas. So creating a balance between with respect to employment in urban and rural. So there should be no sharp or differences or sharp or distinct differences between rural or urban areas. Sixth one, the industrialized backward region. Industrializing backward regions where industrialization will allow to remove the level of poverty, to minimize the level of poverty and remove the backwardness, especially those inhabited by national and ethnic minorities, so as to promote their social and economic development. So that was another consideration, because some of the areas was poor because of these minorities. Strengthening national defense capability. So that was by itself very much important context. Then facilitating international specialization of production amongst socialist nations. So socialist nations are actually those potential areas where by through specialization of production you can increase the trade. So automatically, Soviet as well as the other socialist states, they were more happy to trade with each other as compared to the rest of the world. So automatically their trade may increase only if they are becoming more specialized in certain production processes. Therefore that was another important focus. So these were the major consideration to improve the whole scenario in these social agriculture sectors.